Hey team, it's Lee, the Unorthodox Principal, and we are thrilled that you are here and welcome to Dear Tup. We have had so many amazing submissions and letters, and so we're just going to jump right in, and hopefully I can offer some advice, some humor, and just some maybe tips and tricks that I have learned over the last 20 years to make your job just a little easier. So let's get started. Dear Tup, I've hired so many new teachers over the last few years that really struggle with classroom management, communication with families, and building relationships. I really want to support them, but as the building principal, I just don't feel like I have enough time to give them what they really need. I love them. I want to support them. What should I do? Please help. Best wishes, new teacher support from Florida. Well, dear new teacher support, I understand exactly how you feel on multiple levels. And so I will take it from the principal side, but also the new teacher side and some things that we have been seeing. So I just left my principalship last year. So I was a principal all through COVID and obviously, still dealing with some of the aftermath. And that is what I'm seeing everywhere is we're hiring these new teachers. We love them. They have a lot of energy. They're excited, but they are struggling with, maybe developing their craft or, like you said, that classroom management, communication with families, and building relationships. And unfortunately, I think, and in my own experience, what I've realized is a lot of new teachers that I was interviewing did their entire coursework and college and everything besides a small student teaching block online on the internet. And so that's a little bit of a different experience that we had, and it's different than your veteran teachers had. And so I think there's almost like a bigger learning curve. And so something that is very important, because we could sit and talk about all of, the downfalls and the problems and things like that, but there are solutions because we have to support new teachers if we want them to stay in the field. And without our support as the building principal, as the instructional leader, or developing systems and people to wrap around them and support them, we know that the chances of them making it more than 3 to 5 years are highly unlikely. And so something that I would put in place, because I also know as a principal, it is hard. Like, you want to wrap around your new teachers. It's exciting. You hired them. So you have this connection with them. You feel very responsible for their success, and they, are part of your journey, just like you're part of theirs for giving them, their first shot at a teaching job. And you want to make sure you're successful and take care of them because they're like an extension of your family. And so something that we all need is a very strong mentor program for new teachers, making sure before they even enter the classroom that they understand the building, the expectations, what you do as a school that makes you special, but also all of the stuff that's not really fun, all of your information systems and how to really navigate that, help them with just that communication with families, being able to access any of that information, looking at, past transcripts or communication logs or discipline or, grades or anything like that, but also just making sure that they are comfortable with that, especially with taking attendance, because we know that is a big thing. Admin assistants love to call new teachers and say, you haven't taken attendance. And so making sure that there is protected time at the beginning of the school year for them to do and have that dedicated time for those operational systems and programs alongside a mentor. So in some of my buildings, we had like a mentor-mentee program that they met like 4 days before all teachers were called back. And so it gave them that dedicated time. Something that's very important for you as the principal, though, is making sure that if you're asking or you have a selection process for the mentor teacher, that they are a right fit, they're in good proximity to where they can check in all the time with one another, and that you make sure you communicate those extra days and dates so they can plan accordingly, with their summer vacation or summer break, whatever you call it. So a strong mentor-mentee program is stellar if you can implement that and then help support that. Something I always did was coffee and tea with Miss Lee, and we did that once a week, and we would just talk about different instructional strategies, classroom management strategies, way to build relationships with students and parents. And they had that time with me, and it was a sacred time for us to just catch up. We would talk about the strengths, we would talk about things we want to focus on and work on, and it was good for both of us. And I always did it in the morning, and that's why I did that coffee and tea with Miss Lee, because everyone was fresh. We weren't tired after a school day. We didn't have bus issues and this and that and transportation. It was just this really calm, lovely time each week. And if you can't do it each week, that's okay. Once a month is fine. Bi-weekly is fine. But giving them that time to really be authentic and vulnerable is so important, and know that you're there in their corner and you are their cheerleader is very important. So having that dedicated time, a mentor-mentee program, and then just really modeling, that is important, especially when you call home with an upset parent, and just allowing them time to watch you communicate with them. What do you say? What is your wait time? How are you an active listener? Is huge, because a lot of times, let's face it, in student teaching, they don't have that time to really talk to parents who are upset, because as much as we like to think that they're running the classroom, a lot of times it's only kind of the positive and the good things. And so those hard conversations take practice. So modeling that and then allowing them time to practice. And something that I had to do as a principal that is a huge resource, because I had a huge new staff in my last school, was I actually created scripts of how to have difficult conversations with different areas, so they had something tangible to go off of, almost like a framework. And that was awesome. As far as classroom management goes, that's a whole other episode. And the upside is we have tons and tons of submissions and letters wanting us to hit on classroom management. But for the most part, building relationships, and as the principal, you know how to build relationships. And so sharing those tips and techniques with your new teachers, but also if they have a strong mentor, making sure that they have that time together to learn and grow and teach new teachers how to build relationships, especially with struggling students. So, dear new teacher support from Florida, I hope this helped, and I hope that you have a lovely school year, and we love you. And don't forget, I'm Lee, the Unorthodox Principal. Like and subscribe to follow along in our journey. So we look forward to hearing from you soon. Don't talk about it, be about it.